terrible game.
Terrible game. All right.
It's not just a bad game. Like
okay.
not just like a
Which
not just struggled a little bit. That man went out and laid a stinker on national television. Like, I'm sorry, but like, what is going on? I want to welcome you from half court for today, Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. I, of course, am your host, Sean Murphy, and today I am joined for the first time as a member of From Half Court for 6'1" forward out of Detroit, Michigan, Jeff Iafrate.
Oh my God, what kind of Bruce Buffer shit is that?
Dude, I could literally go, now. Out of the third quarter. I can do it.
Jesus. This is next level.
These are the bells and whistles I haven't pulled out on the morning show yet. These are like it's like the poker hand. It's like the ace in the hole, it's the ace in your back pocket. I can pull that out and be the voice of God about Jeremy Grant to Adam at any point.
Dude, I think he would absolutely shit his pants if he heard that.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's what we need. You know what I mean?
Oh, no doubt.
But no Jeff, doubt. I am so excited that you're here. Thank you so much.
I am too.
Now, you are not a guest anymore, Jeff. You've been on the channel before as a guest. Now, Jeff, you are a member of the From Half Court family. So, yeah, man, do you want to tell people a little bit about what you're doing, and if they might not know who you are, a little bit about your background?
Yes, well, obviously, formerly now on the morning show with Adam, and I still am a part of Woodward Sports Network. So saying that just doesn't people always ask now? It's like,
is he leaving Woodward? It's like, hell no, I'm part of Woodward. He's part of Woodward. We're all Woodward here. This is all part of Woodward Sports, and this is just where Jeff gets to step in and spread his wings, man. And we're gonna take over the NBA world together. Is that right, Jeff?
Yeah, 100%. We're trying to really be the voice. Woodward Sports, obviously, it's only about a year old, 2 years old, I believe, soon. So with it right now, we're expanding the NBA side of things. And I think, who better right now to lead it? There's a lot of guys already doing it. Kool-Aid, you got Pistons Talk, all my boys. They're great guys, man. Great guys. And Andrew Jonah, even another guy that's been writing for us. So, and then now we got the man, Sean Murphy. And then now that's really my passion, though. And that's the thing. Like with Morning Woodward and then doing the Morning Woodward show, it's like, you got to cover all sports, and I absolutely love sports. I do. Like I can talk about football, I love it, but with basketball, it allows me to focus mainly on my expertise. Like that's the most excitement I get out of sports in general. So I'm excited. I'm real excited. Me and you are gonna fucking crush this thing.
Oh hell yeah, we are. You get to swear on this channel,
yes.
Jeff.
So
I can still pull out the on you, but for the most part, you can still swear. You got
dude.
This,
I swear to. What else do you have in your toolbox, dude?
All right, you really want to know? All right, I could go full T-Pain on you. I can go, hey there, girl. You know what I mean? Like this.
I'm gonna need.
I could be like, I am the Riddler. You are the Batman.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So, and then that's the only other thing. Now this sounds like it doesn't matter who we are. What matters?
Jesus Christ. I need this on the morning show. Can I? What the hell?
Hey, you asked. Yeah, I figured the first couple times I come on, I'd be a little more serious. We talk basketball, so I trick you and sucker you into the chaos and all the other stuff that comes with it. But that's okay.
100%.
Yeah,
no, that's fine with me. That's fine with me. I'm gonna even get me one. I got to get one of those, no doubt.
Oh, dude. Hey, if From Half Court keeps going this way, you never know, dude.
Oh yeah, we'll have 1,000 of them.
Oh yeah, oh dude, yeah, we'll have all of these in our back pocket, 100%. But great. Jeff, it has been first of all, there might not be a better time for you to be joining the channel than right now, because we are in the midst of it is basketball's time of the year to shine. It is March Madness. The NBA playoffs are 3 weeks to a month away. We have NBA draft season coming up. We have NBA free agency season coming up. So obviously, Jeff is going to be joining on the podcast, but we'll also be doing some content together as well. Jeff will also be making his own content and being part of the From Half Court family, but you can also find it on his own personal channel, which will from now on be linked in every video down below. So this guy is not going anywhere. In fact, this is going to be, for the most part, this will be part of Jeff's home now. So man, we are just, Jeff, when we meet in person, it's going to be like the biggest bro hug, right? Like we went from to coworkers. Oh no, we're teammates now. Like,
this is
Yeah, you're Richard Hamilton. I'm Chauncey Billups. You know what I mean?
just feed me the rock, and we'll take care of it.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, speaking of feeding the rock, yeah, the tournament has been going on this past weekend, and I figured, what better way to bring you in, and what better way to start this week than talking about that crazy weekend of basketball? Because insane, absolutely
Crazy.
insane. And specifically, you and I are both huge Pistons fans. We both have Pistons stuff right in our background. Exactly. Sure, like one of those. But, there specifically has been the top 4 prospects, which are Chet Holmgren, Jabari Smith, Jaden Ivey, and then Paolo Banchero, and they all had quite some performances over the weekend. Some good, some not so good, some flat out ugly. And so, Jeff, I kind of want to start with you, and I want to let you have the floor a little bit, because if people aren't familiar, I mean, you go on Twitter and this guy is just talking about, the things that he's sick of, which quite frankly, I can't blame him, because I mean, if you look, people are now saying that Paolo's the top pick in the draft, and it's just saying, man, we're just so bad at recency bias, which is absolute facts. We really are. But Jeff, I want to tell you what specifically is bothering you, and what takeaways have you had from the tournament so far?
Number one, what a ride it's been. I just want to give a shout out to St. Peter's. Like,
oh my
can
God,
we give some love to them? Like, beating Kentucky and fucking up everybody's bracket, including mine. That's a big truth.
They're all chalked, literally all of them.
And even MSU, I mean, to a matter of fact, when you watch the game, especially versus Duke, I thought that was one of the best games of the weekend for me personally. Not only I got to see Paolo, and this is what pisses me off. I saw Paolo the entire game. He was magnificent, actually.
Right.
But the recency bias in this damn country with not even just Paolo, it's not even regarding just him, but like Jabari Smith, for example.
Yep.
Dude has a bad game. Okay.
Terrible game.
Terrible game.
It's not just a bad game. Like, not just like not just struggled a little bit. That man went out and laid a stinker on national television. Like, I'm sorry, but like, all right, here's what I noticed. And it was talked about in commentary. It was something that was very noticeable. I think my one hesitation I have from that game, because don't get me wrong, in my opinion, I mean, Cade Cunningham, he struggled in March Madness. Like, people forget that. So it really means almost nothing if you struggle in March Madness. However, you can look at those mental mistakes and how they're approaching the game in big moments. And in my opinion, that's something that does matter. Because if you look at Jabari Smith Jr., he almost created no offense for himself. All of his field goals were off the catch, and he couldn't make it from anywhere. It like there's the 3-level scorer. He was a no-level scorer. He couldn't get free throws going. He couldn't get threes. And like, some of that's just your shots not falling. But like, the other thing is, you are an athletic freak of nature. You're playing Miami, and you're playing the Miami Hurricanes, which is historically not really a basketball school. They have a program. They have a decent program. Props to them. They're in the Sweet 16, but by no means should this team be losing to Miami. And especially with the talent that Jabari Smith has. If that's the interior defense that's going to give you nightmares, Rudy Gobert's coming, dude. He's waiting for you.
All right, hold up. Let me address a couple things you said.
Yeah, hey, Jeff, this is why I'm glad you're here, because now we get to have these conversations, and like, this is fun, man. This is gonna be
this is a much needed conversation, because you're not alone on this. Plenty of people, and I went on the heavyweight podcast, heavyweight Woodward heavyweights. Shout out to them. And went on their podcast. They talked about Jabari Smith.
Now, again, I like Jabari Smith. I do want that to be known. I do like him,
and I believe you. And you're just like, okay, I get it. The mental part of the game is important. And with Jabari Smith, but there's a but with that, because you got to look at the game itself. When you're watching the game versus Miami, they had a great defensive game plan going into the game. Honestly, like they went in. It was basically a box and one defense, and they had the 4 players around the free throw line and 1 player on Jabari Smith. And that defense, for those who don't know, is mainly centered to take away, one guy. Like if like, for example, Jabari Smith's the dude on Auburn. Like if Jabari has a game like that, they don't win. Like it's just kind of like the facts. So Miami going into that game, had a very good defensive game plan. They kind of
plan.
singled out Jabari Smith. They manned him up, and they basically said, your teammates are going to have to beat us. Like, you're not beating us. And nobody came to play. And that was also an issue. It was Jabari as well. The best way to go against that defense is someone who's a dominant post player. And Jabari isn't that. He's a perimeter player mainly, and that's why he shoots such a low percentage, 43%. Most of them are just jump shots. Which is a problem. I mean, you'd like to see for a guy 6'10" with that size, and you'd like to see him do more. But
it's not even just that though. He didn't just struggle from the field. He struggled from the line. It was almost every
and that's the mental part of it.
Yeah, and that's where the concern comes in, because it's like it's one thing if it's just one area, he can still get to the line and like still hit his shots. I mean, he's an 80+% free throw shooter career in college, like over this course of the season, and he went 3 of 6. And and the thing about him, and it's why Jabari is probably my number 2 and Chet's my number 1, is because he still has his impact on the defensive end. He still had 3 blocks. He's still his game predicates from his defense, and that's something I still love. And I think it's what Detroit needs, right? I mean, if we're looking at a rebuild, that's still what I think we need. However,
we need shooting too.
Yeah, 100%. But to have a guy like Cade Cunningham on our side, and to know what it looks like to have a player that the importance of guys that just, they either have it towards the end or they don't.
Right.
It's just one of those things where, they just didn't. So,
and that's my thing with Jabari. Like, in the mental part of it is important. I think at the free throw line, the biggest thing is they rattled him bad to the point where he was so messed up in the head late in the game, especially. Like, he just struggled at the free throw line. And you could take that, in my opinion, you take that game sort of with a grain of salt. At the same time, like, you look at it, you're like, all right, this is a big deal. You're going to be playing against top level competition at the next level. But one thing I always look at is what translates. And to me, it's jump shooting. That's why I had this conversation with Easy. He likes Paolo over. He would agree Paolo over Jaden Ivey. That's his assessment, which I would agree. I mean, you take the bigger guy. That's kind of my philosophy as well.
Well, I think you get the pick and roll partner with Cade Cunningham if you can get that. Otherwise that backcourt with Ivy and Cade is certainly an intriguing pairing. However, if you can go get a guy like Ivy, Paolo, Jabari, or Chet, and then get another lottery pick with Jeremy Grant, which we'll be talking about more in the podcast. I think that's a great draft. So,
100%.
Now Chet, he didn't have the greatest game yesterday either. I think I think it's fair to say that he did struggle quite a bit at points against Memphis. However, the man's been a defensive machine since the tournament's begun. He had 7 blocks their first game. And then, and by the way, both games, Gonzaga came out cold in the first half. Like, that's just been a theme for them in the tournament. If they want to win going forward, that can't happen. But another game where Chet, they really just fed the hot hand, which was Timmy down low. And then Chet, he was 4-7 from the field. Yeah, dude, Timmy was insane, man.
Pistons need to draft that man in top 3.
We need to draft that mustache alone. My God, that's just elite facial hair, dude. But
no doubt.
But Holmgren, I mean, he has a combined 11 blocks between 2 games. He fouled out towards the final seconds. I think he's been able to pass a lot more during this tournament. It feels like that playmaking hasn't been on showcase this season, but over the past couple, he's a passer, man. He can pass.
He can not only pass, but he can handle the ball and pass. So it's like, this guy's doing things. That's why I love Unicorn is a name you give out to people like that. All right. As much as I like Porzingis, but the dude's just tall and can shoot. That's not a damn unicorn. A unicorn is someone who's literally a KD-esque player, or now Chet, who can pretty much do it all at 7 foot. And he has great recovery skills. Like, if he's beat and he gets against Jalen Duren, he obviously bodied him. Like, he gave him the big body shoulder, and he flopped. He flopped bad. But other than that, in that game, you saw it. Like, when he was beat, he recovered, block. His length bails him out so much, and that's what I love about Chet. Like, he's number 1 on my board. Number 1, Chet. I'd put Jabari Smith probably 2, and then Paulo 3 and Jaden 4. Those are my top 4 right there.
Yeah.
And then off the bat, because I don't think the Pistons are going to slide much more further than that. So it was a great display. I mean, Jaden Ivey too. I mean, I can't let him slide. He just played smart basketball. Like,
He's
he
just
went
doing what he
took
does.
yeah, just both ends of the floor. Like, it has athleticism. He took 7 shots the other night. Like, he knows his role. Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
hey, if I got to dominate, I got to dominate. If I don't, teammate, like, I like that. I like Jaden Ivey a whole lot. But yeah, you got to take the bigger players. And
Yeah.
Jabari Smith didn't really help my case for him this week.
He has a
But I
combined
love him.
40. He has a combined 40 points so far in the tournament. He shot 57% from the field against Texas. Shoots 50% from the field from beyond the arc. So guy can score at multiple levels. Is a playmaker, has athleticism, but can get his own bucket if need be. It's certainly, like, the more I see from him, man, the more I like him. And he can defend. He can defend pretty well as well if he's in tune. And, like, that's the thing. If he's it's the thing with Paulo and Jaden Ivey and why they're kind of more towards the bottom for me. Why, like, Chet and Jabari, they're coming in with elite defensive ability already. Like, they can be like
Right.
Evan Mobley and step into the NBA and day one be a really good defender, right? Are they going to be an Evan Mobley defender? I don't know about that. Evan Mobley is probably the best rookie defender arguably we've ever seen. But I think guys like Chet and Jabari have that similar mold, and they have shot blocking instincts. But I mean, Ivy, if he can consistently, pick pockets and get, he had 2 steals against Yale. He had a block against Texas. Like, if he can have that kind of defensive impact on top of his offensive game, he's gonna get touches quickly in this league.
Yeah, no doubt.
Quickly.
No doubt,
So,
especially a league that is so relying, especially in the transition game, like fast break game. Like, he's going to be his athleticism, his ability to play make. Imagine him in a backcourt with Cade. Someone else who can actually, besides Killian, of course, but facilitate. Hey, man, you could stand there and take a breather. I can get a bucket. Like, you don't need to be in this play for someone to get a bucket. Like, that's what I love about Jaden Ivey and those guys. Jabari Smith, a little more reliant on other playmakers, but. And that's what I love about Chet too. Like, you get it all with him. If your only
really
concern is the weight, like, I'm not worried. That's a good thing. Like, if your only concern is you got to gain some weight, like, you're good. You got everything else.
I just think people really don't understand how positionless this game's going to get quickly. And that's why having guys that are versatile, like, people are like, oh, well, Beef Stew can't fit on the court with these guys. It's like, no, that's not true. Like a guy like Isaiah Stewart, a guy who can bang in the post, like, you
can play with Chet.
Throw out. Yeah, you can. Yeah, with Chet. Yeah, that's a great pairing. They can work well together. You can even run pick and roll with Chet and Isaiah Stewart if you wanted to. Like, what a monstrosity it would be, but the option's there.
Yeah.
So
if you can handle the ball, I don't see why not.
Yeah, exactly. But with that, Jeff, which of those 4 players do you think is most likely to get to the Final Four, and who do you have winning it?
Out of those 4 players, well, poor Jabari Smith. But other than that, I'm gonna go Chet Holmgren. I really Gonzaga. If this isn't their year, then when? Like, that's my question. I picked him. I picked Arizona, I believe, to get there. And then Gonzaga giving him an ass whooping. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
Purdue's got a real shot. They
do, because what scared me about Gonzaga is Time has been bailing him out, but I don't know how much longer this man could continue to bail him out. Like, that's my only concern. Like, the other guys need to step up, no doubt.
Yeah, well, and for Gonzaga, I mean, the road doesn't necessarily get easier from here. I mean, they have to play Arkansas next, too. That's a really good team, and then they could very well face the winner of Duke and Texas Tech in that Elite 8. So if you don't start getting it together quickly, we're gonna see Apollo Chet Holmgren matchup, which I think is going to be, that would be fireworks if we got to see that. Yes, Coach K,
I believe Paulo didn't they face earlier in the season? I think Paulo had like 30, if I'm not mistaken. And now they get a rematch, so that'd be
and on the brightest stage and for single elimination. So, probably the last time they get to face off before draft scouts are asking them questions and bringing them in for NBA GMs to either make or break their franchise. No pressure. That's why, we don't talk about these things because they're important, because it's fun and easy back.
No one wants to talk about the Anthony Bennett's or the Greg Odens. So we just keep it on the KDs and everyone else.
Exactly. It's fine. No biggie. Brandon Knight, known for not just getting dunked on by DeAndre Jordan. It's all good.
Yeah. Miss you, Stanley Johnson.
Yeah, exactly. Miss you. But my question to you is, what do you think? Who, if you had the choice, if you were a general manager, who are you drafting with that top overall pick. I want you to tell us in the comment section down below. That is going to do it for today. But Jeff will be back tomorrow because our first episode of the From Half Court podcast airing on Wednesday. We got Ashton the trainer here on Thursday. So be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and like this video, and we will catch you next time from Half Court. Be sure to subscribe.